Hello everybody, my name is Peter Koutny and we are still following Tata Steel tournament round number 6 and we are going to watch a game of Magnus Carlsen because Magnus Carlsen is going to beat another strong player and today he is going to beat Richard Rapport. So welcome here and let's enjoy. White is Magnus Carlsen, black is Richard Rapport, and let's speak about this position. I saw last time this position in his last World Chess Championship match against Jan Nepomniachtchi, and I hope that everybody knows that Jan Nepomniachtchi blundered pawn in this opening, and at the end he lost his game and his match against Magnus Carlsen. So it could be interesting to see another variation here, and Richard Rapport believe in move rook to b8. He believed that it's a good idea to save pawn on c4, of course. Right now white is pawn down, so white has two options: just to play for compensation or to win this pawn back. Okay, I'm going to show two variation, and the third variation will be variation of Magnus Carlsen. So the variation where white is playing for compensation is this. Knight to c3, of course, is not going to stop black to play move b5, but knight to e5 is playing nice for compensation, and queen to d4, it's a beautiful position. It's up to your chess style. If you believe that here it's your position, it's your position, but maybe you are not interested to play this position with pawn down and how to stop the move b5. I'm sure that a4 is doing a good job. Of course, black should play a6 and still he believes in move b5. But here white is playing move a5 and he stopped forever move b5. At the end, still theory will tell you that white is still better with slight edge, but at the end I don't know if you are happy to play this position because too many exchange and there is no huge complications for black. So maybe black should hold this position, even white is better, and for this reason Magnus Carlsen is playing something in the middle. So he played move bishop to e3, so he is not going to stop immediately move b5, but he is still playing for compensation. Black played move bishop to d6 and he is waiting for next Magnus move. Magnus played now queen to c1 and he is going to attack immediately pawn on c4. So black has still two options: just to go for short castle or try to save this pawn. Black believe in move b5, and of course why not? Here we should have two options. White should play move b3 or a4. Just imagine that you are playing move b3. This knight on c6 is without any defender, and this knight should be tactical weakness. Okay, first variation is variation of a4. a4 makes sense because white is going to open file for his rook, and I hope that it's nice to have rooks on open file. At the end, after move b3, I told you that knight on c6 is a tactical weakness, so it's not a good idea to take this pawn because black will lose knight. Don't worry, that's another story. So bishop to b7 and this exchange, I believe that white's got advantage, but how big, I don't know. Maybe still this position is not too complicated position to black. So for this reason Magnus Carlsen played move here b3. Where is it different? And I will tell you that we will see the same position, but the difference is here a7 pawn and a2 pawn are still on the board, and Magnus Carlsen believed that exactly a7 pawn is a weakness. And just imagine that one day Magnus will win this pawn on a7, then he got interesting winning chances just to push his a pawn as far as possible. a4, a5, a6, a7, and that's it. So maybe that's the reason why Magnus Carlsen played move b3. Here it's not bad idea at all to go immediately for short castle, and still I believe that yes, maybe white is still better and this game is open. So up to me, there was a better variation for black because looks like black is much more active than in this variation, and this is not variation, this is the game. So black played move knight to b4, and he believed that this knight on c6 is not the best piece ever, and he believed that this knight will be much more stronger on d5 than on c6. So knight to b4 is starting this maneuver. Knight to d5, okay, immediately is there, and bishop on e3 is under attack. Magnus Carlsen believed that two bishops are important, and he played move bishop to g5, short castle, and right now Magnus has two options. One is to go knight to c3, and second is to go knight to d2. In case white is going knight to d2, here is move h6, and Magnus will have to exchange this knight. Okay, in case he is going knight to c3, that will be another exchange. So Magnus Carlsen believed that knight will have better future in this game than bishop, and he played knight to d2. Of course, maybe there is options to play knight to b3, knight to c5, and so on. So black is going for a position when or where he will have two bishops advantage. There is no room for escape of this dark space bishop, and white took immediately on f6. That's happened, and rook to c1. Okay, black's got two bishops, but I think that still white is better because of this pawn on d4. Just watch the center, and I'm sure that you agree with me that only pawn in the center it's white's d4 pawn, and for this reason I'm sure that here is still white better. Center is important, and center is telling you who is better. Not every time, but at least here, yes. So knight to d7 and queen to a4. Still the same plan. Just imagine that white will win a7 pawn. He will get nice plan to push his a pawn, a4, a5, a6, a7. That's it. So maybe here black should be a little bit more careful, but he played move c5. He believed that it's a good idea to change the center, and the center pawn is much more important than side pawn. He is right, but this position is going to be changed because here is the passed a3 pawn. Black took on f3, and I don't believe that this is the best move. You know, here at least black's got two bishops, and two bishops are nice. In case black is giving one of his pair bishop, he need to have good reason. So maybe it was stronger to play bishop to d5, and this queen on a7, it's in a little bit dangerous. So white need to be careful how to save this queen. If he's not careful, for example, he's taking on c5, this queen is lost, but it's lost in interesting variation and maybe compensation, because pawn on d6 is a strong pawn, and just add one more move, e5. This pawn is terribly strong, and maybe here is nice compensation to white, and this is interesting position. Maybe a little bit dangerous for both sides, and this is the reason why this variation was not played. Another option is go to back to a4, and here, okay, too many exchange, but still what do you think about this position? I think that this variation is absolutely level, and maybe this is not variation what Magnus Carlsen is looking forward to play. So there was two variations, but black decided to take on f3, and I believe this is the first mistake. You know, if you are going to exchange your bishop for knight, you have to have a reason, and I don't believe that here is any reason at all. So Magnus took, and just remember that still this pawn is only on a4, a3, but move by move, it's a much more bigger danger to black. So maybe right now a4 is nice, and okay, maybe this position is still level. You know, black is not worst, but his position is a little bit more complicated, and you know, he need to play best moves, and this is exactly position what Magnus believe that he is better. You know, one mistake, black is losing. So why not to play this position? And Magnus played rook to a2. queen to e7, a4, and losing mistake is rook to d8. It's a beautiful move because, you know, makes sense to go behind your pawn and to support your important d4 pawn, but tactically this move is losing. Much more stronger is rook to b4, but, you know, a5, and still I think that this pawn is a strong pawn, and I believe that even here white is better. You know, this position is still not lost for black, but it's a difficult, and this is exactly the best moment for Magnus Carlsen to play difficult position. And you know, it's good to have your opponent under pressure, under time problems, and you know, that's exactly position where it's not hard to make a mistake. And the first mistake happened here, rook to d8. You know, for me it's impossible to see why this move is mistake, but it's a mistake, and Magnus Carlsen will show you why. He's taking pawn, okay, that's nice, and he's going back, so a5. As I told you, this move is nice, and here there is another pin, and this pawn is terrible danger to black. I think that this is the biggest reason why black will lose his game, and he played last mistake. He came back to e7, and that's game over. Maybe the last chance was bishop to b8, but of course this is a terrible hard move to find, and a6. a6 is too far, and I believe that this pawn is nice, and maybe still black will not able to hold this position. He will even maybe we will see many moves. Still, I believe here that Magnus Carlsen will be able to win this game. Okay, let's watch this game till end, because bishop to e7 happened and Magnus Carlsen will play like monster. Okay, he is a world chess champion. He is one of the best chess player ever, and you know, if Magnus Carlsen has a good chance, he is winning. So, okay, without any problems, he took on e7 and d8 and b7. So you saw this variation in the beginning, and I told you that a2 pawn is the winning pawn, and it was hard to imagine that Magnus Carlsen is right, but he believed that at least this pawn is giving him interesting play, and I saw interesting play. So it was a nice game of Magnus Carlsen, and he was able to beat another strong GM. So I hope you enjoyed this video. So if yes, feel free and press like and press follow and made my day. Thank you very much for every likes and comments, and I hope I will see you soon in our another YouTube chess video. I hope we will see another winning game of Magnus Carlsen. So have a nice day, take care, and see you soon. Bye bye.